what's some crazy stuff that's happened as a DJ? I mean, man, I can't imagine from colleges to
the college stuff was
all ranges
bonkers.
of like events and whatnot. Like
I feel like it's, that if I look back, like I'm so glad that I kind of did it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've done the bars and the I would say clubs, but like the small clubs. And then I've done the weddings. I mean, thousands of weddings at this point.
For sure.
I've done the corporate events. I'm doing the Epic Games party next weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 2,000
That's a
people.
big one, yeah.
Crazy. But the one thing that the story that professor of state always makes me tell, and I hate it. It makes me like I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Do you remember it?
Yeah. I remember it. I was at Bald Head. You ever go down there, Bald Head Island?
Yeah.
You know this story?
Right off the coast of Southport. Yeah.
Yes. Well, Bald Head Island is ferry only. There's no cars
that's right.
allowed.
Yeah.
No cars at all. So you have to unload your car, put it on a cart, and they roll it up a ramp, and they put it on the ferry.
Yeah.
And I get there to do a wedding, and these two girls pick me up, two wedding planners, in a golf cart.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, just put all your stuff on the back, like where the clubs go.
Oh, yeah.
And this was when I had a much smaller rig anyway. It was kind of, I don't know. God, this has probably been 10, 12 years ago.
Okay.
I didn't have nearly the amount of gear that I take.
You fit it all on.
Yeah. I just stacked it on the back.
For sure.
And we start driving, and they're like, oh, it rained really bad here yesterday. There's a big swamp in the middle, but we just been driving through it of this cart path because there's only there's only one way to the country club. It's like at the other end. And I was like, okay, and I'm standing on the back, and we start going through this thing, and
trying to hold your stuff on.
Kinda, yeah, like standing on that platform where the clubs go. And then the gear's kind of stacked on that seat, the reverse seat.
Yeah.
And we start going through this puddle, and I'm like, this is a fucking lake. And the thing goes dead in the middle. So, water's starting to come in the cart, and, it's electric and water. And so the girl goes, what are we going to do? And I'm like, somebody needs to push us out of here. I got a suit on, and you got a short skirt on. So I make her get out.
One of us pushing it. It ain't me.
She goes around the back and starts pushing, and then the other girl in the other front seat reaches across and hits the gas. Well, when she engages the gas, the cart goes forward, the girl falls down, goes underwater, and all my shit falls off on top of her in the water, bro. Speakers floating, MacBook Pro on the bottom of the lake, microphones, all music, everything that I have is either floating or at the bottom of the swamp. I'm crying, like physically, tears coming out my eyes. Tourists are coming by laughing. I'm screaming, fuck this. Take me back to the ferry. Yeah. And they're like, dude, there's no other DJ on the island. You have to do the wedding. I'm like, what are you not realizing? I'm screaming. I'm losing it. Take me back to the ferry right now. You have to do this. I'm like, with what? Like, what are you talking about? I'm just meltdown
Dude,
central.
you want to understand what is this
It's not like there's a Best Buy. Like, this is an island. I mean,
with like a grocery store, golf carts.
Literally, golf cart, like a bike shop, one restaurant, and like a little grocery store.
That's
like
right.
That's it. Screaming, I'm crying, tourists are laughing. So I round it up, and I'm early. Yeah. I'm like 2 or 3 hours early, and I get there. And I got my pants rolled up to my knees now. I'm soaked. And I just start laying out stuff on this deck. Yeah. Like none of the wedding party or anything. They were getting married off property. Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, what is salvageable? I mean, literally, when I opened the MacBook, it just opened like water. And I was like, okay, that's not, that ain't it.
We're going to put this over here.
And then I kind of plugged up a couple speakers to like just the wall to see if they powered. One came on. And then this was like when iPods were still big, and I had that in my pocket, and this was like early iPhone. Okay, so I had songs on both of those. Wow. And then I think I had the CDJ 1000. Ports still, yeah, with the headphone jacks. I had a bag of cables, of course. Yeah. And I think the mixer worked, but the CD players did not. So basically, I just had an iPhone on the left, an iPod on the right, and then I just played between the two through the one speaker. Wow. I had a wired microphone. The wireless was underwater. And dude, and I used to write a blog after every wedding. Yeah. Until the bride read that blog, she had no idea anything was wrong.
No way.
Nobody ever told her. I just kind of moved that one speaker around all night, like to different spots. I had people dancing. I mean, it wasn't like flawless. It wasn't like a hot mix, but I got through it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And it was, dude, it was all from like Eagle Scout preparedness.
Oh,
I had,
backups
of like their first dance,
for sure,
their parent dances, the Hot 100.
You had thought to, hey,
I always used to
worst
do that.
case scenario, I'll put it on.
I always
here.
used to do that. And this was like before Spotify or streaming or anything. Like, I mean, the actual files had to be on your phone and on the thing. And on the iPod. But
dude,
I got through that show and it was the war. And I haven't been back to Bald Head since. Like, I'll get calls and I'm like 12,000. And people are like, I thought it was more around 5. And I'm like, it's 12,000 for Bald Head pricing. I'm never coming back.